Hey everyone, thank you for joining our session on Sowing Success, Unlocking Investment for AgTech in Africa. I am Amikebe, the Director, CEO, founder of Jokalante, a Senegalese social enterprise in West Africa, and we are based in Senegal. And I am with one of my partners, Atanugare.
Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. I am Atanu Gorai. I am CEO Social Well Technologies. We are a AgTech startup based out of India, primarily focusing on automating and digitizing farmer producer organizations in India. In the past, we have helped NABARD and GIJ to automate their manual process, and through our APO application, the farmer collectives are able to increase their revenue, attract finances, and today we are going to focus on the investment scaling up of the AgTech solutions in primarily in East Africa and West African countries, and see the challenges in terms of scaling the AgTech solutions.
Yeah.
We have a great number of participants from different countries. Really happy to see all the faces, some familiar, some we are yet to meet. Um, uh, we uh, we are really looking forward to engaging with you. And our colleague from Somali Youth Hub, Federal Government of Somalia, Hamza, will join us shortly. And in the meantime, we have a short presentation. Um, so let me kind of set the agenda. We will share a short presentation in terms of the AgTech solutions primarily in the last few years. In these two regions, Eastern Africa and Western African countries, selection countries, what is their spread, what are the technologies they are using. Once we have done the presentation, Ami will speak about the Western African countries, Senegal, Nigeria, and uh, Gambia and other countries, and I will share the details about Eastern African countries, primarily focusing on Kenya, Tanzania, and Somalia. Once we have done the presentation and understood, then Hamza will share the development in Somalia through the work being done by Somali Youth Hub and the Agriculture Ministry, and the opportunities that their ministry government and the other stakeholders provide in the country. And then we will open our floor to get more questions and discussion points from our distinguished participants for this workshop. So I'll start by sharing my screen. So we'll start with the East African countries, and out of the region we have selected Kenya, Somalia, and Tanzania. Of course, we know that these are the three countries where most of the AgTech solutions are concentrated. Of course, particularly in Kenya and Tanzania, they have been implementing these solutions at least for a decade or more. Somalia, there have been some initiatives, both by the national organizations as well as international organizations. Now, if we look at these three countries together, we have 227 digital solutions altogether. And if you look at the solutions or applications, those are focusing on farm management and advisory alone. The number of such applications would be 157. More than half of them are focusing on these particular use case alone. Now, moving on, this particular slide, we are talking about the growth of the applications over the years. We have taken roughly from this last 10 years or so, 2010. And if you look at this particular data visualization, we can see that COVID years, there was a significant jump in between 2015, 2016, 17. There was significant jump, but the last year and year before, we have seen something like new projects like 10 or 15. So that is the kind of number we are talking about. But in general, 20, 30 new projects are being added every year. Now, categories of the users, and when we say the users, we focus on excuse me, registered users in the application. You can see that youth is one category, then followed by women, almost like in between 40 to 50%. And in terms of the users, youth category would be in between 20 to 25%, and then smallholder farmers in between 40 to 45% of the registered users. Um, okay, so the next discussion topic for us is the areas of the application, and you can see here, as we have mentioned, almost significant and closer to most of the applications are focusing on farm management and advisory. And as you know, that in Kenya, in particular, Tanzania as well, this has been very strong focus among the international organizations driven by CGIAR research centers. There has been enormous effort to send messages and calls or through feature phones. Amy will also talk about that. And then followed by market linkage has been also the key topic of some solutions. Some solutions are focusing on finance, then supply chain management, and later we are focusing on ecosystem support and smart farming. uh, Moving on, then we are talking about the technologies in terms of the solutions that those are using. And if you could see, on top there is data analytics and BI, then followed by cloud-based service. Of course, most of the solution invariably would be provided through some sort of cloud-based service. Then more recently, AI has been taken up significantly, big data application, remote sensing, location-based services, followed by that. Then there are applications related to ML and GIS applications, and some degree of usage of satellite. We next will go to the type of organization those are implementing those solutions. Mostly, agri-tech would invariably would be startups primarily, agribusiness, of course, and the agribusiness is also in terms of the type or registration type would be as a for-profit company or social enterprise. Then there are commercial enterprise. Some are being implemented by NGO. Then some are implemented, of course, through the mobile network operator, and few initiatives are by government itself. So this is a high-level summary of the uh, solutions in the eastern region, and I will pass over to Amy to speak about the solutions in the Western African countries. Amy, over to you. Amy, you are on mute.
Oh, okay. I'm talking with the mic muted. Thank you,
Oh,
Atan, for this description. I'm going to present the AgTech solution in West African countries. And if we see the digital solution, we have actually 190 only in Ghana, Nigeria, and Senegal, and the number of applications for investment about farm management and advisories is around 130, which represent at least 70% of the whole application. Um, can you go ahead, please? Okay. So the number of applications between 2010 and nowadays, we see that um, uh, how I can say a difference between the year. Like in 2010, we had at most 20, but now we have 190, and a substantial a very increase and improvement of application between 2017 and 2018. And during the COVID, it was really a small adding in the digital solutions that existed previously. And most of digital solution, please move forward. Most of digital solution, Atanu, please move forward. Yeah. Most of digital solutions are used by smallholder farmer, women, and youth. Like most of 60% of smallholder farmers are using the application. The question here is maybe how, as investor, and how to unlock the investment if it's this smallholder farmer that are using this app and has some low economical revenue, how we can help AgTech solution to be sustainable and get more investment in the type of business model with this target of low economical people revenue. How we can think, and that's a question I will ask to the attendees, how we can think about this type of business model if we target this the smallholder farmer with low economical revenue. Go ahead, Atan. So the key area of application of the solution are based on farm management and advisories, market linkage, finance, small but not so small in supply chain management, economics, ecosystem support, and smart farming. So um, in West Africa, that's something that are raised actually the smart farming with in the context of climate change. Like for Jokalante, we are really pushing in this field to democratize access to climate information and localize advisories for smallholder farmer so they can be more smart and more resilient again of climate change. Uh, yeah, go ahead. And in terms of technologies, we have big data, local-based services as for us using IVR, but also the network to do to build are based on our tech solution, data analysis and business intelligence, artificial intelligence, but also some remote sensing, machine learning, visualization of the data, drones, and some IoTs solution are also in interest with in the AgTech solution in West Africa. In our side, we are using a mix of technologies based on data analysis, IVR for dissemination, but also visualization with visualization with analytics that we offer to our customers. Go ahead. And the type of implementing organization in the demand of investment, most are agtech and agrobusiness, but also some commercial enterprise. NGO are also, and we have government deployment and also M&E deployment in the type of number of solutions. But as we can see in this picture, the agtech has most of the time implement the solution in digitization. Go ahead.
So that was all. Uh,
Yeah.
if you want to, before we go to Mr. Hamza, you want to sort of reflect on this particular that there was a higher number of solutions that were being initiated back in 15, 16, 17, 18, but particularly in last year and the year before, we could see quite a negligible amount of new initiatives being launched. What is your experience in the context of Senegal and Nigeria, if you want to, if you know anything about that?
In Senegal, I can emphasize on that. When we had a, a phase where our tech solution were promoted by donors, by CSR uh, businesses, big industries, pushing for some bootcamp, for some prize to push youth and ideas about finding tech solution in our agriculture problematics. That's why you see this improvement of number of agtech solution between 2016 and 2018 till the COVID period, where the number drops. Even if it's growing, the number drops, and this is due by the COVID, which was more of a period of consolidation, and the investment. If we see what happened currently, the investment during this period also dropped due to the risk, and we are continuing to search. Even if we raise, I think in Senegal, around 4 to 6 billion dollars, $1 million for some businesses raise this investment there. We have some works to get done in order to reassure investor and get more AgTech solution, improve their solution, but also some other solution sees the light of the day with access of more fund.
Thank you, Amy, for your detailed presentation and of giving us a context on the AgTech solutions in these three Western African countries, Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana. Really appreciate that. Now you are pleased to welcome Mr. Hamza Abdi Wahab. Mr. Abdi Wahab is the director in Somali Youth Hub, a key and pivotal initiative of the under the Ministry of Youth and Sports in the federal government of Somalia. Being the director, Mr. Abdi Wahab is uniquely positioned to catalyze the efforts of multiple ministry through his office, and he is able to, through his office, he is able to promote, of course, education, capacity building, but also towards engaging youth through startup and agtech promotion. So I'll request Mr. Hamza to share his view how AgTech is performing in your country, what role um, the regional agri startups from, let's say, Eastern Africa can play in Somalia, how your office and your government would be able to help us, and what kind of support, if at all, you would need to kind of strengthen your agtech ecosystem in your country. Over to you, sir. You are audible, Hamza. You are audible, Hamza. Okay, I can speak now, right? Yes. Yes. Okay, fantastic. First of all, and I would like to thank Anthony Rai for the warm invitation for this event for the America and AgTech from the government. And it's a pleasure to be with you. And in a brief section, Somalia it's one of the youngest nations in Horn of Africa and East Africa. Where the population there is 75% under 30 years old, so which means 75%. And being in East Africa, we must make sure that we get to use our resources in a very good, which is again now, and it's very renewable for Somali to go back to the Somalia is one of the largest demographic youth population in the world. And I myself represent Somali Youth Hub. Somali Youth Hub aims to empower Somali youth with knowledge, skills, and opportunities to thrive as an active, engaged, socially responsible citizen. It is acting as the National Youth Development Agency, where we catalyze the initiatives and efforts for various ministries under the federal government of Somalia, be it the Ministry of Education, be it the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or be it the Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation. We bring together sectors for development projects and initiatives in Somalia. In this case, Somalia agricultural sector has brought a good name for itself in the international export market. Consider the case of livestock, which accounted as much as 78% of the total export and the
sector of opportunities for young youth in those sectors. The sector requires both investment and innovation, of course. The world is moving more into technological and digital world, and we need to be in line with those advancements. We need to develop we need to develop agricultural sectors and sectors require both and also the first outline the investment opportunities in this and the milk processes. We have the dairy farming, feed processing plants, meat processing plants, and diagnosis, vaccination, treating livestock, poultry farming, advisory services, leather processing. There's a lot of sectors within the agricultural and the livestock sector that needs to be improved with FDI, and also it will come with the proper technological and digital advancement that we as youth should have those kind of ideas to start up with. Of course, we do welcome startups from East African region, India, who have done wonders in developing AgTech in our country to be able to find capable youth workforces and resources to develop further. And also, it's good for me also to see while I was here, educated to talk about advancement in AgTech in the second and how things are going in our country and social was has been doing in the country in India. And for us, Somali youth are a new established intergovernmental organization to learn from those successful startup organizations and what they are trying to achieve in their communities and give it to our youth and try to give them that kind of excitement or motivation for them to do their work. And example, agrofinance startups will be able to pilot the scale credit and microfinance product. That's very important for us. And a lot of youth do have ideas to start up or to do their own projects. But the problem now is how to microfinance those projects. And but with collaboration with such international organizations or advices from both of your two startups companies, I think we would like to see how the future collaborations of AgTech in international capacity. And another issue that I would like to bring up is the issue of collaboration and collaboration. It's very important for us as intergovernmental organization to collaborate as many as organizations that can benefit Somalia and 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 work with such reputable organizations like yours. So thank you very much again for Anthony for the invitation, and I hope I will not take much of your time during my technical errors. Thank you so much, and I welcome any question come from the audience.
As Hamza was trying to connect with us, let us open the session and would encourage our attendees to share questions. So just to give a guidance, when we are saying that one aspect is, of course, the investment. However, to begin with, if the product or the service that we are offering, our AgTech solutions are offering, if these are not earning revenue, of course, no amount of investment would be able to sustain it longer. So, therefore, the first point or question for us would be that yes, we are developing more and more AgTech initiatives, but are we able to make revenue, make profit? So that is the first question. So, Amy, what is your experience? One, you can share Jokalante's experience and maybe the startups who are other startups from Senegal, if you want to share your experience on that.
Yeah, we as startup, I think at the beginning we get a lot of support from NGO like USAID project in Jokalante experience that what help us offer and pilot our services. When we develop our first solution, tech solution, we need to get some demo and get the farmer interest and farmer organization doing some pilot, doing some demonstration. And the cost of that could not be covered at the beginning of an early life stage for startup. Uh, so we start that through a project, a USAID project that tests the solution, sees the benefit, do some kind of monitoring and evaluation, and from all this learning and all these learnings that help us uh, starting build a story and a narrative to start getting our first customer and our first revenue stream. That was our main experience, and I think that's a pretty um, how I can say that original experience, because most of the time we had this idea, we go see investor and trying to get the first fund around the digital solution before to start selling or test the product. Sometimes if you have a chance to use the power of internet, you can test your digital. But when we talk about farmer, it's more people that are not well connected. So you need to go at a local level, do the demonstration of the tool so farmer can be interested and you can get your first traction. So having this first collaboration with a development project who are willing to test this solution and put some fund for us were really a game changing that help us pilot the solution and scale it and get our first customer and build the narrative to get our first customer.
Very interesting. So I think there was a lot of disturbance in the connection. Uh, but what I have heard is that there are many opportunities in the livestock, in the farm sector for the agri startups to come and develop projects in Somalia. So his office would be able to assist the startup, and so that is a really good sign. We had a few attempts to discuss opportunities in Tanzania and Kenya. I think for startups who are based in India, there are one, of course, the technology that can be customized, brought to those countries, maybe directly or through other startups. So that is clearly a possibility. The other possibility is that even though there are some comparable contexts, but for Indian agtech startup, um, the we need to have clear learning and contextualize the solution on the ground. And as you can clearly understand that in our sector, agriculture sector, the if we really do not understand what the customers or the end users, in this case the farmers, they require, and if the solution is not really customized, it is not going to be adopted in the long run. So that is clearly the case. So therefore, even though we can sort of design and develop the technology in the Indian context, still we need to work with the partners in the countries, with the local developers, with the farmers to co-design and then implement the solution. However, social oil is still at a very early stage, of course. I mean, we are still learning in terms of customizing what we have implemented for the 10,000 FPO scheme from the government. So that process is still going on, but it is an interesting and emerging market, definitely. There are lots of opportunities in terms of specific crops or I mean there are cocoa, there are coffee, there are maybe livestock, so specific crop specific opportunities are there where there is clear export market in Middle East, in EU countries. So definitely that is something worth looking at. Yeah. Ami, do you want to add anything from your region?
Yeah, I think during this presentation we cover what is the current state of AgTech in Africa, but I want to highlight the potential of the AgTech sector in Africa, how we can, us for Jokalante, for example, how our action can increase the productivity. We have the percentage, how the advisories could scale from 100 to 1,000 farmer in just a click. As I said, using digital solution like Jokalante platform. So this possibility to impact the level of the yield, the productivity is one thing, and it is also a way to fight to improve food security, but also participate in climate change resilience as we integrate all these advisories to climate information in the local language, taking the dimension of the farmer level of literacy. So we have a lot of potential there, and now it is how in West Africa, we work more with SMEs, with ag businesses, so they can integrate and work to level up the ICT gap uh, for about in the business side, so they can see the value of more integrate digital solution in their solution to work with farmer and build a better product so they can increase their market. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, so I could not see any specific discussions from our attendees. So I think we heard from Ami some interesting use cases, of course, for on the farm advisory, some insights, and broader opportunities from in Somalia in general. So these are very interesting kind of thoughts that we have shared in today's session. So I think with this, if we do not get any questions, I think we can conclude this session.
Mm, yeah.
Um, okay, so I want to thank all the attendees for your for participating in this session. Um, you have our profile available. So we look forward to possibly discuss if there are any opportunities that we can explore. Definitely, we look forward. Yeah. Okay, so I want to thank Hamza for coming in the session, sharing his perspective. Want to thank Amy to give your time, sharing your lesson, and thank all the participants. Hope we will be able to share the presentation sometimes through the Rise World Summit, and would like to thank the organizers of the Rise World Summit. Fantastic event online, very sort of decentralized and provides the many organizations like us to come together and share and organize this event. So thank you, Avani, once again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you both of you for joining and conducting this lovely session. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye.